Legends and Super Legends. Elder here, heading out on a group ride. It's about 7:15 in the morning. It's about 77 degrees, which is like, I think 22°C or 25°C, something like that. So it's pretty balmy. We're supposed to get rain around noon, so hopefully we'll be done before that time. We're usually done before then anyway. But it's a cloudy day, so I'm trying to lighten up my kit here. I've got the La Pasión white jersey on. I'm going to put on these white socks. It's got a little bit of red in it. I'm wearing these just in case I get caught in rain. This fabric is easy to clean. So I try to think about all the little details. I'm going to put on my white gloves. It's good contrast since my bars are black. I'm taking the blue bike. Let me show you guys. She's all loaded up. I got the rear camera on there. There she is. It's hard to see there. She's ready to go. Got two balls on there. I got the rear camera mounted on under the saddle. I'm not sure how many people are going to show up today. Our ride is, you always have rides that are too slow, too fast, just right. Our ride kind of niches in right below the too fast. And so one of the guys we had last week has been a little concerned about the ride. But, we've been encouraging him to come out. My attitude is I get there at 7:30, whoever's there, we ride. If no one's there, I ride solo. So that's it. And in fact, I've built a calendar on the website. I've been sending out texts to let people know about the ride. I'm going to end that because now I have a calendar on Veloharmony.com that lets people know what's coming every weekend. And there's enough details about the ride. So by Wednesday every week, I'll update it if it changes, because the start locations will vary depending on what we're doing. So I'm going to send out a final text sometime maybe tonight, letting the people on that list know that. Go to the website, you want to join us, show up. That way I don't have to be concerned with sending texts every week. But anyway, I'm going to have to go ahead and get ready right now. Morning Legends and Super Legends. Overcast day, a little bit of sun trying to peek through. It's a nice morning. It's in the upper 70s, mid 20s Celsius. I think it's about 22°C. 77 might be about 22°C or 25°C. So it's a warm morning. I've got on my La Pasión jersey. It's well ventilated. I did not put on a base layer today. Got a lot of crap in the pockets. They feel pretty good. And this camera goes in the pocket when I'm not using it. And I've got a camera on the back of the bike. But I plan on getting a workout today. So that's why I put the rear camera on. If nobody else wants to sit at the front, I'll just stay there longer. Good workout. I didn't get to ride as much as I wanted. I would like to this week, so today and tomorrow I want to make it up. We're supposed to get rain today and tomorrow. I think the rain will come after we're done. Forecast says noon. We're usually done by 11. I got 2 minutes to get up there, hook up with these guys. There's something going on in the neighborhood, all these cars over here. There's a bunch of cars over here. This is the main pavilion for the subdivision I live in. Yeah, it looks like the swim team is there too. Everybody's out enjoying this nice weather. So we got a lot of cars over here. So of course, I'm using the left lane. You don't want to pass too close to the doors because you don't know if the car's occupied or not. So I'm taking this lane till I get past. I'm keeping the camera off the bike because I noticed that when I have the camera on the bike, it bounces around a lot. I'm just holding it. So I brought the rear camera so when I get to the front, if I'm feeling good, I want to stay there for a while, I can just turn it on. have you guys ride with us. I don't really see anybody in the parking lot. It looks empty. So I guess it's just gonna be Paul and I. That's fine. That means we'll just go longer. Because Paul and I like to do long rides anyway. Everybody else comes and complains about not having time. Saturday is when you need at least 3 hours. So I'm just gonna keep rolling and pick up Paul. Nobody's in the parking lot. I see one car going there. So I don't know, I guess he's there to meet us. It's a silver car. I don't recognize whose car that is. But that's gotta be a rider. There's no other reason to park over there. That's where we meet. So I'm gonna go ahead and go up there and see. Yeah, he's a rider. So he just waved at me. Must be Adrian. Okay. So I'll go get Paul. This is the rear view camera I turned on. It's early in the ride. We're rolling. So it ended up being just Paul, Adrian, and I. You know, we pretty much leave on time. We get there at 7:30, you're not there, we're gone. You know, I have no problem riding alone. Paul doesn't have any problem riding alone. And on Saturday, this is the day for Paul's longest ride and mine as well. So we head out because leaving at 7:30, that means by 11 we'll have at least 3 hours even if we stop. So we're just rolled. Adrian was there on time. We rolled with him. So whoever else came after that time, we'll roll with them the next time that they're on time. So I've built that calendar on the site, so no more text messages. I sent that out already. So that basically lets whoever wants to join us can just check out the calendar and the website, see what we're doing that weekend, and just show up on time. You know, if people that contact us, we'll wait for them if we know they're coming. Other than that, we roll out at 7:30. So we're headed northwest. It's the most challenging route in this area. We needed to be close to home today, so we're starting the route at a close location. So I've got an early meeting in the afternoon, so that's why I'm heading out. So I let them know about the water down there you see there. I just kind of let them know so they don't lean the bike too much. That's what you have to do when you're at the front. Any kind of hazard, just alert people about it. And you can see Paul's ready for a long ride. He's got 2 long bottles full, and he's running this light because it was overcast when we started. The sun's coming out a little bit, but that light is very effective. And he's having breakfast now. That's the thing, guys. When you're doing a long ride, longer than you're used to, anything longer than an hour or so, just maybe an hour 15 to an hour and a half, you want to eat. You're not eating for right there and then. You're eating for the last hour of your ride. So you keep your blood sugar levels up. Keep that in mind. Pretty much you can see my shadow there. I'm letting them know it's an intersection. I checked for cars since I'm the first rider. It was clear, so now we're rolling. I wanted to work out today, so the guys, the training, our training's been kind of off. I don't think Paul's been getting the miles that he wanted. You know, he's got a lot of stuff going on family-wise and other things, so he's kind of a little off his schedule. So he just let me stay up there longer. And and Adrian's new to the ride, so he's still getting used to the distance. His longest ride before he came to join us, he said, was like, I think 35 miles or something like that, which is about 2 hours thereabouts. So we ride almost an extra hour, so it'll take some time for him to adjust. And our pace, this is our normal pace, 20 to 22 thereabouts, depending on the conditions, of course. So I just decided I needed to work out, so I just decided to sit at the front. That's one reason I brought the rear camera that you're seeing here, because from the front all you see is the road. So those of you who saw the video that we made a video about changing the flat on the road. This is after we fixed this flat and we stopped and got refreshments and everything at our midpoint in Tomball. We ride through 3 different areas. We ride through Klein, the Woodlands, and Tomball. So we're headed back. The wind is coming from the right and it's very stiff, mostly from the right, a little bit in our face. So at this point, we're just kind of getting into it. And I think this is where I decide to come by and tell them to start an echelon.
Wind's coming from the right, so we're going to echelon clockwise echelon.
So now, I wanted to use it as a teaching moment here to show that, Adrian's new, and so he's not familiar with an echelon, and so you're going to see the few mistakes that he made. And when I'm on the ride like that, I don't like to correct people verbally too much because I don't want them to be intimidated. I correct them by my actions so they can learn by watching what we do. So I had just told him short pole, so I waved Paul through because Paul had been sitting up there for a while and that wind is stiff. So right now you can see Paul move to the right because he's familiar with an echelon. If you watch Adrian, he doesn't quite move all the way over, which doesn't leave me enough room. I mean, it's not very hard for me. And Paul's slowing down because Adrian should have gone through, but he didn't know. So I told him to pass him, but then he went too fast, and you can see the gap. So I told Paul to stay where he was. I moved up because Paul had been sitting at the front for a while. I gave him my wheel and decided to just gradually pull Adrian back. And you can see I'm just holding the speed right around 20. And we're pegging him back. And so I decided to just stay right there so Paul would get a bit of a break on my wheel. Now look where Adrian is. He's too close to the white line. But we got a wide shoulder and it's clean. So he should be more over to the right. So I move over and I suggest him that he move over. Watch. So I come up to him here, and as I go by, I tell him. I tell him to move to the right. So he moves over, and then I go by and I move over so he can learn from watching what I do. So now I move over to the right so they can have some shelter. So Paul's on my wheel. So there Paul coming by to take the lead. So I back off my speed a little bit and I move over to the white line, just kind of drift over. I just glide over on Adrian's wheel. Right there now, watch. Paul all of a sudden is off the front because the wind's real stiff, so he's taking short pulls. But what happens is he pulls off the front and I move in front of him right there because Adrian pulled away again when he got to the front. And what that does, it just wastes a lot of energy because the people following you have to keep accelerating. Plus, you yourself are expending a lot of energy because you're not doing things smoothly. And it's just because he hasn't done this for a while, before, or he's not comfortable with it. So I don't say anything. Now, right here you can see a bit of a gap here. So I just sit right there. I gave Paul a wheel. That was my goal. And so I just sit right there. So Paul has a wheel. And I'll just sit on Adrian's wheel to see when he's done pulling and when he wants to pull off the front.
Because what we're trying to do was to do short poles. That way everybody got a break and just had to work for short periods of time. So now over here the road is level to slightly going down, but that wind is still stiff. Now there's Adrian pulling off the front, and I gradually move up. If you watch my speed, it's 21 right now as he pulls off. Now he's getting in the shelter back there. And so I decided I'm going to stay up here a little longer to give Paul a longer break, because he's been pulling for a while. So now you see my speed 22. Just went up a little bit. I'm nursing a reasonable gear. I'm probably in a 17 or a 16, almost 80 RPMs, you know. It's a stiff headwind, so I'm treating it like a climb. Just steady tempo. Now Paul comes by to give me a break. Now right about here I noticed that Adrian is not coming through. What that tells me is all those little efforts he's been doing, where he's been gapping us and going back because he didn't really know how to execute the echelon, he's paying the price for that a little bit. He's a little tired. So when Paul came through, just that little respite was all I needed. I pulled back to the front again to give him a break because he's been up there quite a bit. And I just moved up, and now Adrian's on my wheel, and Paul gets on Adrian's wheel. It's kind of hard to see. Right there, you can see Paul getting on Adrian's wheel. So I get back to the front, because all Paul was doing was trying to come to the front and give me just a break. And sometimes that's all you need. A few seconds off the front is all you need. And, you know, and I was feeling good, and I wanted to work out, so I got back up to the front. I'm keeping my cadence like it's a long climb. And I mean, I think I'm in a 17 or a 16, no bigger than that. And I've just got a rhythm going. I've got a tempo. It's a gear I can handle. I can even accelerate in, so I'm not really worried about the ratio. But I'm keeping my tempo steady so that my body does not get gassed. Meaning if I were spinning for too long in the wind, I'd have to constantly keep changing my rhythm, you know, searching for a gear. This way I can do this tempo forever. And it keeps my heart rate steady, because the wind just kept picking up. So Paul goes through there, and I slip behind. I noticed that Adrian did not come through. Well, basically what that says is he wants to stay in shelter back there, because the pace is, you know, this wind is stiff. My heart rate's gone up about a beat here, you know. And I can tell by feel that Paul is just giving me a break, so I roll through again so he doesn't stay up there too long, because I need those little breaks and I don't want him to get too tired. So I rolled through, and I don't know who's on my wheel. I think Adrian's on my wheel, so Paul gets to go back behind Adrian there, and I just rolled through. So it's just going to take a little bit of time for Adrian to pick up how to do echelon. Echelons are tricky, and it's just a matter of knowing that you don't expend too much energy at the front. You know, and the people pulling off should back off the speed a little bit so you don't have to keep accelerating. You know, and sometimes in a breakaway you can't help it. The speed just keeps changing. So at this point I thought the light was going to change, and I was feeling good, so I really didn't want to stop. And I was trying to do a little track stand here, and that's something I practiced years ago. I used to ride at the track called the Outkick Velodrome in Houston. So I can do a track stand, you know. But the light changed for the other side. It didn't change for us.
Big ride once again. Wrapping it up. Paul and Adrian just took off. We stopped at the parking lot. It's a good ride. And, these people are still partying. It looks like a swim meet or something. These guys are having a swim meet. Hey, young man. So, the whole place is crowded. There were 3 of us, but we made good times. 3 hours, we're done. 83 kilometers. I pulled for most of the ride because the boys weren't feeling that great today. And so they let me just sit up there. I didn't mind. I needed a workout. So this was not an easy ride. It's a pretty good pace ride for us. Okay. So, by now you've seen the clip, and I hope you enjoyed it because I made it just for you. Stay tuned to the channel. There's more to come.